Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for more manga. And for today, we have Sakamoto Days. I am very interested in seeing what happens after we came off of break, dealing with the whole Saionji twins things at the JCC. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu 92 here. Welcome back to more Sakamoto Days. In the last chapter, before we went on break, the Saionji twins basically explained their plans on what they intend to do, and they are there to basically kill anyone that is even remotely connected to Sakamoto. And in the process, that puts Toromaru, Amane, Natsuki, Kaji, and I feel like I'm missing someone. And Mafuyu, all in the crosshairs of basically them being killed. So, the whole fight starts with the Saionji twins, with Sheena, the sister, just brandishing her machine gun and just obliterating everything around her, including staff. The staff try and get in on it, and she winds up cutting them down immediately, with her even dashing through a whole crowd of them, all hitting headshots with every single one of the teachers. And when it looks like the teachers are actually managing to get a leg up on Sheena, the brother, whose name is still unknown at this time, shows that he is probably the most dangerous of the two, as he winds up decapitating every single teacher that tried to run up on them without so much as anyone being able to see what he did with just his bare hand. So, let's see what happens in chapter 233. And it doesn't look like we're going on break next week either. Days 233. It is what it is. And we have Sheena and her brother just standing there after the brother just basically killed all of these extremely skilled assassin teachers. And he's just standing there. And then Natsuki's thinking, these twins, especially the older brother. And Amane is thinking, I've encountered that insane skill level before. It reminds me of... And then it just shows Toromaru and Mafuyu. And they're thinking of the order. Because they picture Shishiba, Nagumo, Osaragi, and Gaku. They picture all of these members of the order and these absurdly strong people that they've encountered before, and they picture the brother among them. And then the brother speaks. I'll ask one more time. Tell me where Taro Sakamoto is. Then we'll leave you alone. And there's silence. And then Sheena speaks up.
Seriously? It's our first assignment and you want to just wuss out after all this?
Well, if we can settle this amicably.
Screw that! Let's go ballistic on him!
And then Natsuki speaks up. Forget it. Forget it. We're not selling out our friend. And then the brother speaks up again. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Then it just shows everyone else, and then he goes, oh well. It is what it is. And then it shows Amane and Toromaru jumping towards the brother. And mind you, Toromaru's using her rifle axe. Amane's using his 3-sectional staff. Or is it 4-sectional? I think it's 4-sectional staff. No, it's 3-sectional staff. And the brother just catches both of the weapons in both hands. He catches their weapons in both hands and tosses them aside, and then proceeds to kick the both of them while they're still airborne after being repelled, and kicks them both into opposite sides of the room. Amane into a support pillar in the background, and Toromaru directly into the corner of a wall. And while he's going, Mafuyu pops up. And before Mafuyu can do anything, the brother just casually tosses his sandal, and it hits Mafuyu with so much force that it sends him flying backwards.
Come on, that's rude.
Don't be stupid. There's no friggin' etiquette to killing. And mind you, he's saying this, and there's a distorted shape next to him. And it looks like it's Natsuki who's invisible, but he stops Natsuki and goes, "Nuh-uh. You gotta erase your sounds, too." And just straight up body slams, just pile drives Natsuki into the ground. And mind you, Kaji is just watching all this. This freak. Not only does he not break a sweat when he fights, but also his heart rate doesn't even change. And the brother, we still don't have this man's name, and he's just bodying everybody like they're nothing at all. And mind you, these kids are not, like, nothing to sneeze at either. All of you are beasts. How can you come at me with that skill level? I'm always so scared when I fight. No matter how hard you train, when you die, it's over. And then Toromato's just looking confused, like,
Why be an assassin then?
"'Cause." And then he says that, and then Sheena jumps up next to him and just opens fire, which is kind of dangerously close to where he is. And everyone dashes away to avoid getting shot.
Will you knock it off? You're plenty tough. No one's gonna kill you. You're bringing me down with your constant whining.
Sorry. That was my father. But she goes,
You're bringing me down with your constant whining.
and then the brother just goes, "Sorry." Then all of a sudden, gotta move my phone up to the side. Then all of a sudden, the ground underneath her starts to break.
Uh-oh.
And she falls through the floor directly towards the pool. Directly towards the pool.
A pool? But I can't
And she falls into the water.
swim.
And she's holding her breath. She can't swim. And then the brother goes, "Oh, great." And then Toromaru jumps down going,
Now's our chance.
"Ugh." And then Natsuki jumps down as well. "There's no time. Sakamoto and the others will be here in less than an hour. He's in no state to fight these guys. We gotta stop them now." And it shows Toromaru, who's in the water, along with Natsuki, and they try to surround Sheena. And he goes invisible as he dodges one of her punches.
Where is he? I can't hear him underwater. Oh, I hate this guy.
And then we get the brother, who just casually lands in the water along with them. And he has like this club. This, like, I won't even call it like a pointed club because it doesn't have points, but it has extended ridges and indentions all over this club, and it's symmetrical all around. And he just falls into the water with them. And then he looks over and he sees bubbles coming from a space where no one is. And it's clearly Natsuki, and he goes, "There he is." And he swings his weapon as if there is no resistance in the water and launches Natsuki and Toromaru out of the water. It's such a forceful blow that it blows up the pool itself. And then it just shows the brother pulling his sister out, holding this club over his shoulder. Mind you, it's not like a kanabo. It's not a kanabo. It's like a short club that's maybe about this long. And he's holding it over his shoulder after dragging his sister out the water, going, "Couldn't you tell where he was from the bubbles?" And it shows Natsuki bleeding from apparently getting hit, and Toromaru, and she's surprised as well. And then we get Sheena just coughing, going,
I can't open my eyes underwater.
You can do it if you try. And that's the end of the chapter. See, this is what I meant when I said the brother was a problem. I knew for a fact the brother was going to be an issue. This makes me really want to see him versus an OG Order member now. Have we seen someone just stop Natsuki while he's invisible like that? I want to say that Kashima. I want to say that there was a moment with Kashima back when Natsuki was looking for his brother Mafuyu after Mafuyu and Todamaru was there with members of X's group, but not to the degree where he's just completely invisible and we just see the person grab Natsuki immediately. It's not a matter of like, oh, I can sense him there, because he's essentially erasing his presence, but this brother, grabbed Natsuki as if Natsuki wasn't invisible and all, and says like, yeah, nah, you gotta mask your sounds too. So meaning that he is capable of hearing Natsuki, which should be an issue because Natsuki is an expert with using his stealth suit, masking his sounds and everything, but this brother can apparently hear him still, despite all of that. I know we've seen them mess up his invisibility suit to make him visible before. Yeah, we've seen people use other means to make him more visible. And I actually, you know what? No. I am remembering wrong. It wasn't Kashima versus Natsuki. It was Shin versus Natsuki. And Shin had to use other means in order to see Natsuki while they were fighting. But this brother has no issues fighting someone who's just straight up invisible, saying like, you're making too much noise. Not only that, but he's able to contend with both Amane and Todamaru as if they're basically nothing. And the fact that Kaji says like, this dude's a freak, because not only is he not breaking a sweat, but his heart rate hasn't gone up at all since he's been here, despite the fact that he just previously clashed with everyone, and he killed all of those teachers that came in and tried to bind up Sheena. This whole time, this dude's pulse has been steady. And he has the audacity to says, like, I get so scared when it comes to fighting. Like, hold on, let me go back to when he said that. I'm always so scared when I fight. No matter how hard you train, when you die, it's over. Yet at the same time, this dude is contending with these students who have proven to be very capable and very strong in their own right. He's dealing with them as if it's basically nothing. Oh, he tagged Natsuki good. His lip has blood on it. Yeah, he got Natsuki. Underwater. Okay? The last time we saw someone fighting underwater, it was Sakamoto versus the bodyguard of Shin's dad back in the day. It was Shin's dad's bodyguard, that one guy that was absolutely infatuated with Shin's dad. It was that person, and he was capable of fighting them even underwater. But then again, it was more so like using a gun to basically deal a blow that would make that bodyguard rise up in the water. But not to the point where Sakamoto is just casually fighting in the water as if water doesn't matter at all. This dude, literally, the thing that gets me about this moment with this guy is the fact that everyone's in the water going after Sheena because Sheena apparently can't swim. So we got Natsuki and Todamaru going after her, but the brother drops in behind them as if water means nothing. And then, not only is his vision not even obscured at all underwater, he's moving as if the water isn't even there, because he catches Natsuki. No, he doesn't know that he caught Natsuki up above. But no, he sees where Natsuki's bubbles are coming from, and without even batting an eye, blitzes Natsuki underwater. and then winds up imploding the entire pool, hurting Natsuki, and saving his sister. Because this dude uses a club. Mind you, he killed all of those teachers with just his bare hands. Now he's using a weapon. The brother is a problem. Really goes to show the only reason the invisibility trick worked the first time on the brother because A, he wasn't expecting it, and B, he wasn't ready to throw hands yet. Now he's willing to fight and knows about this invisibility suit. It's going to be so much harder now, not to mention him under the water. We sure this guy isn't a relative of Aquaman? He's got to be the relative of somebody because ain't no way you're going to swing a club hard enough to make the water explode. Like there's an explosion of water that eclipses almost to the ceiling. That's how much water was displaced from the force of this blow. It is essentially, this dude might as well be a mantis shrimp, and his punch is literally imploding the water, causing it to just shoot up into the air. Now, there's such a thing as resistance when you're underwater. You feel it the more in water you go. It's not air, it is thick, it is dense. It is not something you can just easily move through. You gotta literally make your body adapt to the surroundings because there's so much resistance when it comes to you swimming. This guy gets in the water and moves as if there's no water around him and even displaces an immense amount of water just from him swinging once. I told you, this brother is a problem. And now that the Saionji twins are out of the water now, and both Natsuki and Totamaru, they're hurt. Mind you, Totamaru jumped in after getting kicked by this guy. Both Amane and Totamaru got kicked full force by this guy. Even Mafuyu was not exempt. He actually got, he got even more disrespected than Totamaru and Amane. He got hit with a flip-flop, and the force of the flip-flop sent him flying. Because dude doesn't have his slippers on. Because when you see him next, he literally flicked his flip-flop and it sent Mafuyu flying. And he doesn't have one on his foot anymore. But then when he jumps into the pool, he doesn't have either of them anymore. And mind you, here's the thing. Wet clothes are heavier than dry clothes. And this dude is moving like it's not an issue. There's a really good analogy with the mantis shrimp. Yeah, the mantis shrimp is awesome. But I will give Natsuki credit. Granted, how powerful that blow was to come out of that with just a bloody lip is pretty good. Yeah, all that for a drop of blood. It does speak to Natsuki's durability due to the fact that he was able to survive such an immense displacer of water and only have like a bloody lip. We don't see him laying on the ground. We don't see him bleeding from the head or anything. He just got a little bit of a blow with just enough blood to come from his lip, and that's it. So I commend Natsuki for surviving that. However, the thing that scares me is the fact that this is just the brother warming up. This isn't a brother who's pressed for time. This isn't a brother who's trying to get this over and done with quickly. This isn't even a brother who's upset that his sister has been hurt in any way and is letting go of his emotions and he's just going all out or even getting serious. This dude has not changed his disposition or feelings or emotions at all the entire time this fight has been going on. What concerns me is the fact that we haven't seen everything that he can do, or even the pinnacle of what he can do. I can understand this guy being recruited by Oki. See, the sister who's a loose cannon, I question that. But the brother who has been calm this entire time and has not changed at all, and has been handling basically everyone he's came across with little to no problem whatsoever, and he's still remaining that same way, I can understand him being recruited. And the fact that Sakamoto is on his way, they're taking Sakamoto to the school so he can heal up, and that's less than 30 minutes. Those students have less than 30 minutes to take care of the Saionji twins completely before Sakamoto gets there for treatment and to be healed up so that way he can get back into the fight. Yeah, they're in trouble and it may be a double-edged sword, but they may have to use the sister to get an advantage on him. Who knows? Who knows what will happen if anything were to happen to the sister? I gotta give me some water. Who knows what will happen to the sister that will cause the brother to go off? Because it's not the loud and boisterous people that you need to be careful of. It's the ones who don't react to anything. It's the ones who are not the first to make are not the ones to make the first move. It's the ones who feign as if they kind of just want to avoid trouble altogether. Those are by far some of the most dangerous peoples in all of fiction. Because if they're like, I'd rather avoid this, if you please, and they're remaining calm in the face of all this fighting, and but they're taking it in stride. Those are the people to fear the most. That's the problem. And this brother is a problem. This brother's a whole problem. But downside to that, yeah, I don't want this man enraged, even that opens him up to make mistakes due to a lack of focus. Because I feel like if anything were to happen to his sister, he would probably lock in even more. Because I don't think he's locking in right now. I think he's just casually handling Amane and everybody else. I think the moment we should all be concerned with is when he stops being casual and actually locks in to finish everything. That's the thing that I think we all should be concerned with for the next chapter as this fight continues. When he locks in and decides, you know what, this is taking too long. Let's just go ahead and get this over with so we can leave. The moment he gets serious like that, I think we're in for a world of pain. But that's just my take on it. Overall, an interesting chapter to set things up. A very interesting chapter. I think he's like 5% locked in at most. He's barely locked in. That 5% is barely anything to him right now. And we're just making weird estimates. That 5% barely enough for him to be all let me actually jump in here. He's just watching. He's letting everybody else do the work. That's the thing. Everyone has been attacking him, and he's just been one-shotting them in terms of dealing with them and knocking them away. He's not going after them immediately. I think when he went after someone intentionally, it was Natsuki in order to get him out of the water, and that was it. But yeah, this brother is a problem. We still don't know his name. We know the sister's name, but not the brother's. He's an issue. He's a problem. The brother's a problem. And we're not going on break next week. Should be interesting to see how this brother fights, especially with us seeing him and he was just using hand-to-hand combat the entire time. Now he has a club. Now he's got like a big old, I don't even know what to call that sort of club. You know what? I'm going to look it up because that's an interesting design. I think the moment he did that 5% lock in was we're not selling out our friends line from Natsuki. Yeah, and he just says, "Oh well, it is what it is." And that's him being 5% locked in and he immediately started bodying everybody. I want to know probably why he targeted Natsuki on top of his invisibility capabilities. Yeah, probably. Let me see. Maybe it is a Kanabo. Maybe it's a type of Kanabo. No, no, it's not a Kanabo. I want to know what this weapon is because it has a name. Uh, it's not a trench club. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. It's not a Morning Star. Because Morning Stars are spiked. And it's not a mace because it's too long to be a mace. I'm trying to find out what type of club this is. And that's not it either. What is this weapon? I want to know what this weapon is. It's a bludgeon of some kind. Yeah, it's a bludgeon of some kind. Bludgeon with long grooves. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I'm not getting enough searches for it. I'm not getting enough searches for it, so I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell at all. But he's got a bludgeon type weapon, and it's enough to hurt. It's enough to hurt Natsuki, even despite the fact. And that concerns me. But yeah. Next week, we are not going on break, so we'll get the next chapter. Hopefully, get to find out what that weapon is exactly, or even find out the brother's name, because we've seen this brother for a couple of chapters now, and we still don't know who he is. We know he's a member of the Saionji family due to the fact that that's the name of his sisters as well, but we still don't know his actual name, so that's perplexing. Also, like the shout out to Gaku too in this chapter. Yeah, Gaku was an incredibly capable person until he ran afoul of Takamura, and that's the last person you want to be running into. But overall, this was a decent chapter. However, I am more concerned about what happens next now that the brothers brought a weapon out. That means he's ready to fight. So yeah, overall, pretty decent. We'll have to see how things go from here. But that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to today's session of Sakamoto Days. All I have is just a One Piece episode, and then I can relax for the rest of the day, because I still got plenty of things to do for tomorrow and Tuesday, and pretty much the remainder of this month, leading into November, where I will be tackling Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and it ought to be fun. But thank you, Halster. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you to everyone else who happens to be watching this, just in case you weren't here live and you're watching the VOD. Thank you for giving me the time of day. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even consider subscribing to my Patreon, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!